You can hear me now. I'm glad. Uncle Ayunfemi, Uncle Ayun Felix, Uncle Femi Akano, Uncle. I greet you all. All is well, sir. All is well. Okay, so but of course we are here now. We thank God. Um, so I want to appreciate you all for your patience, especially for those of you that have joined as early as 8 o'clock. And of course, we're just coming on board now. Appreciate you, appreciate all of us. I promise you this week is going to be a good week. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen on Forest Factory so that we can see what events are in for the week. All right, so let me share the screen already so that we can have a look. Go ahead and share uh, this one. So this screen is showing Forest Factory, and I'm going to go to weekly view so that we can see what's there. Weekly view. So let's view week. That's this week. And then we can do apply settings. And then we can see what's up. So Monday, today, no event, obviously. You can already see it. Monday, the 8th, no event. But of course, Tuesday, as early as 4:30 in the morning, events are more like Boku. That means there are plenty. Starting from cash rate in AUD. And of course, that's the cash rate in Australia. I wanted to say that will affect majorly AUD, that's Australian dollar. And of course, if you want to trade Australian dollar, there are basically I trade it with two currencies or three, but I prefer Australian dollar against United States dollar. But of course, you can also trade Australian dollar against Japanese yen. That's another very hot cake, very hot cake. And the spread is not that much. And of course, you can also trade Australian dollar against CAD. Okay. So if you want, I like trading with those three, but of course, my favorite there is still US dollar. So you can trade AUD USD, you can trade AUD JPY, you can trade AUD CAD. And if you want to go a step further, you want to actually, expand the horizon, you might want to look at GBP AUD, you might want to look at Euro AUD. Okay, you want to look at AUD CHF. That's if you want to expand your horizon. You can look at those other three. But of course, my first three choices are always AUD USD, AUD JPY, and of course, AUD CAD. So if you can lay your hand on those three, if you fund your account anyway, you can do that. And of course, remember that this event is coming up by 4:30 in the morning, which means that you must have funded your account today, right? So if you want to take advantage of this event, remember they are all high impact. I'm not talking of medium impact or low now. I'm talking of major impact events. And of course, this cash rate promised to be stable, right? If you look at the event proper, that's the forecast and the previous report, promised to be stable, which means that AUD on the long run may actually be bullish. Now, a lot of people trade events like this differently because some of you might be asking, okay, now you said we should trade it. How do we now do that? So to do it, I think it's pretty simple. You will basically, there are three ways to do it. You can choose to trade already. That's if you have premonition that this event is going to be as it is because it promised to be as it is. That means it is currently 3.6. All right. And of course, we are projecting it to continue to be at 3.6. Okay. That's the rate. Okay. Now compare this to Nigerian rate. Nigerian rate is about 27%. Okay. And of course, Australian rate is about 3.6. You see the difference. Now you can see the difference. You can see the reason why Nigeria remains where it is. Okay. Because the ease of doing business is not there as far as Nigeria is concerned. Okay. It is not easy for human being like us. All right. Like you and I to just go into the bank and go and borrow. Okay, you want to finance your cars, you want to finance your house. It's a challenge because the rate is way too high, about 27%. Okay, in the banking sector. And of course, remember, the banking sector control virtually everything in the economy. Okay, down to PIN. If you want to buy PIN, it is being controlled by the bank, by the rate, exchange rate. Okay, with which you can do business. Now, maybe we can just borrow leave from what Australia is doing. And of course, if you're listening to me and you're part of decision makers in Nigeria, you might want to ask CBN to look at other countries in the world and look at their rates, okay, and see what they can do to actually make life easy for the rest of us that are, in Nigeria. That's it. Let's go back to what you can do. So to do this, you can do it three ways. I mentioned already. One way is for you to you will place a trade before the event. Okay, very important. You will place a trade before the event. Now I'm going to switch over to AUD, for example, AUD USD, so that we can see an example. You will place a trade already before the event. That's one. Two, you will place a trade at exactly 4:30 in the morning at the event. And three, you will place a trade after the event. Now, for this particular event that's coming up, let me give you a guide as to how you can do it. Let's go to AUD USD screen and look at what's up there. So I'm going to share my screen again. Let me click on share and go to this event. So I'm going to go to AUD USD, which is this one. Now let's do something like a quick analysis for this event. Remember, it is tomorrow, Tuesday, and it's 4:30 in the morning. Let's look at what you can do already. So let's click on here and look at a clean chart, no ambiguity, no indicator, nothing. And this is 1 hour chart. Now, if you look at this trend, where is it facing? Look at tell us where the price is visually going to. Is it going up or going down? Who can tell us? Okay, so it's already going up. Already, people are already mentioning that it's going up. Good. Right. Thank you. Now, looking at this, it means that most likely, the trend may continue to go further. Now, what you can do is to go to, for example, D1 daily chart and look closely at the chart. So this is today. Now, if this candle can rise to as much as this level without news, that means with nothing pushing it, if it can rise to as much as 0.66828, that would have been at the resistance level. That's between now and nightfall. Okay, it means that the price might actually, continue to go bullish. And if in fact, if it is even possible that the thing will even break this resistance, which is not likely, but if it doesn't break it, if the price still remain where it is now, okay, it means that tomorrow the price might just as much as get to this resistance. Because of course, we expect AUD to, if the event come out as per what we're expecting, AUD could as much as possible go bullish, which means that the price of AUD can still be as much as getting to 0.66828. But there's a but. If the event dare to come out negative, then AUD might just collapse. Now, what you can do is if you take a cue as to what the daily chart has done, okay, before, and I'm saying before in the area of this zone, right? So this area of 0.66828 is a very strong resistance zone. Now, what you can do is to watch out for that level. If the price today is Monday, if the price fails to get to this level, or if you get close to it, watch out. That's the area of kind of like how do I call that area now? Like a mixture, a hot zone where the price might actually retrace. Okay, it could just go back down. So you could start selling at this level, okay, or you could start rallying around and looking for a way to push the price back to this level. Because between now and tomorrow, the price will likely get to this level. Most likely, like 97% likely get to this level. Let me repeat. The price of AUD against dollar, for example, will most likely get to this level between now and tomorrow, based on the fact that the rate is coming out 4:30 in the morning. So what you can do is to fund your account and trade in the direction of price, because the price might actually go to that level. Now, if it gets to that level, it might just reverse. Okay, that could be like a resistance zone that could just overturn the price and then the price will go down. So one way you can also trade it is to wait at this level and trade opposite of the direction of price. That is if you want to trade before the price or before the event. At the event, it means that we are waiting for the event proper to come out. That will be tomorrow. So let's put a line here. And then we look at tomorrow. So let's put it on H1 now. And then we can zoom in. So between now and tomorrow, the price will get to this level. So right now, the price is currently here. Let's zoom in a little bit so that we can see the candles properly. So what you can do also is to, if the price come out negative tomorrow, or positive. If the price come out positive, you might just, go bullish until the price gets to this 0.66828, and then you can go bearish afterwards. That's if you want to say, okay, the price might just do what it did before, right here. So because history normally repeats itself, so it could just be that this thing will just happen again. Like, let me put the green here so they can see. Okay, so if history will repeat itself, then this price might just do exactly what it did before at this level. Therefore, you might want to be looking at, selling at this level and taking your profit back down. Okay, so that's the way AUD USD could go. I'm not saying we go. Now, if on the other hand today we are now beginning to see somehow the price is not getting back to 0.66828 before nightfall, and the price is now trading bearish, then your guess will be as good as mine. It means that most likely the rate will come out short. That means the rate might come beyond or below 3.6. Was it 3.66 or 3.62? Let's find out. Not sure. Yeah, 3.60. Okay, so the rate could just come forth. For example, it could come at 3.5. Okay, if you come at 3.4, you come at 3.3. But if you come at 3.6, most likely AUD will rise. If you come short, most likely AUD will drop. So you might trade a sell if you see negative, and a buy if you say positive. That's if you want to trade by 4:30 on the dot. Now, if you want to trade after the news, then you must wait. Let me go back and go to the screen and then share this one. If you want to trade after the news, then you don't have a choice. You have to wait until the event comes out, and then you even wait after, like 15 minutes after, 20 minutes after, 30 minutes after before you place your trade. One way I normally do it is to wait 15 minutes after. Let me just quickly give you a brief of that. I'm going to go to here and go to M15 very fast. I'm saying this for the benefit of those people that are far away from us. Maybe you are in, for example, Benin, you are not in an office location, or even in Loni, or you are even in Wari, or you are even in Sabah, wherever you are. Okay, one way you can also do it is to wait for 15 minutes after the news. Let's say, for example, the news is 4:30 and this is 4:30 candle. Okay, this particular one that's running now. So you wait until this candle close. Okay, the 4:30 candle must close, and then you look at the color of the candle. Now, if the color of the candle prints red, like as it is now, then you will place it buy immediately after. That's one way. It's a strategy. Okay, to say, okay, the price has actually done volatility in the first 15 minutes. There should be a correction in the next 15 minutes. This is a strategy, all right, that people use or traders use on the chart to trade. So you can just go bullish immediately after. But if the price prints green, for example, let us say this candle is 4:30 candle, this one that I put arrow on now, okay, and of course, it has closed green, then you go bearish immediately afterwards, all right? But you have to wait for that 15 minutes to close. So those are the ways, 3 ways you can trade this kind of event that is coming out by 4:30 tomorrow morning, all right? All right. So now, beyond the 4:30 events, there are events or other events, for example, the press conference by 5:30. Now, press conference don't normally have forecast or previous reports, just a speech by the bank head, okay? So most likely then the Reserve Bank of Australia governor, okay, will be speaking, all right? Okay. And of course, you can trade his speech. Just like by 10 o'clock in the morning, the BOJ governor will also be speaking. That's Bank of Japan. The person of weather will also be speaking. So you can also, follow that event and also trade. But of course, there's a tentative event for that Tuesday also. No time has been fixed for that. And of course, that will be weekly employment change, okay, for US dollar. Of course, for 4 o'clock in the evening, there'll be Joel's job opening. Of course, the event is the forecast is slated for 7.14 million. Okay, or is it billion now? I think million, right? So, of course, you can just trade that event also. They are all high volatility. Now, Tuesday is well packed, so you have to prepare for Tuesday from Monday. So today is the day you fund your account. Of course, today is the day you get ready to trade that event. Now let's go down to Wednesday. Wednesday is also very important. Okay, so for USD by 2:30, we're expecting employment cost index quarter by quarter or quarter to quarter. And that means it normally come out quarter to quarter. So if you come out this December now, the next event for this particular data will be by March, okay, next year. So you might want to trade that also by 2:30 in the afternoon, Wednesday, okay? Of course, 3:45 p.m. for card. So don't forget that this card event is actually rate statement, something close to what you have for the AUD on Tuesday morning. So rate statement normally carry weight, all right, because that's when the governor of the center of their bank, of the central bank of that country, will be making a speech. Okay, and of course, overnight rate also is coming at the same rate, 2.25. You can also already see that this one is actually even I think even shorter or smaller than that of Australian dollar. So Australia is about 3.6 and Canadian dollar is about 2.25. Very cheap, right? That's a very cheap rate. So if it means that if you want to move to Canada now, you can move to Canada and be doing business there and be taking loans as you like, paying 2.25% per annum and the rest of it. Okay, so their press conference is slated for 4:30 in the evening of Wednesday. So this week is fully packed except for Monday. So you want to make money. This week is your week. And of course, this December should be soft, right? Considering the fact that these events are coming up. And of course, don't forget that the federal funds rate for USD is also slated for that same Wednesday. So, and of course, it's 8 p.m. For that same Wednesday. So, the last time they did this, I was in Abeokuta, and of course, I knew how much I made on my account. But of course, that's because I funded my account in preparation for that event. So, in preparation for this event, also, I encourage you to fund your account. If you know how to trade, you fund your account, and of course, you trade. If you don't know how to trade, why don't you learn it between now and Wednesday and trade, or between now and Tuesday and trade? Of course, if you still don't know how to trade, even after learning, you can just go ahead and copy someone. All right, just copy somebody and be good at it. All right, so that means you have to go on social and look for a provider and copy. So you can do all those things. They are all available avenues for you to make money that or this week, right? So Thursday, because as we move to Thursday, don't forget that AUD is also having unemployment change event for that Thursday. And of course, by Friday, we only have pound for GDP. Okay, so all the major currencies have events. Don't forget that that same Thursday, 9:30 in the morning, CHF monetary policy assessment will come, and of course, SNB policy rate will also come. That's for Switzerland. Okay, so it's also their rate or their rate week. So this week is also actually a rate week for major currencies in the world, except for pound. Right, major currencies: AUD, USD, and of course Canadian dollar, and of course even CHF, and of course even Japanese yen. Okay, but of course it's not the rate for Japanese yen and pound. Okay, but and also euro. Those three are not there, but of course their bank governor will be speaking that in the person of whether for Japanese yen. Now you have all the information you need concerning the fundamental for the week. Take note of all these events, mark your calendar correctly, and of course trade at those times. Very important so that you can make the money you need for the Christmas or for the Christmas that is coming. And of course, now we can go back to technical and then look at what you can do now. Okay. Or if you don't want to even look at all these events, you just want to trade, you can, follow me now. So share the screen and then I move to chat. Now, I was just, leaving AUD, and of course, since the screen is still here, we can just talk a little bit about AUD as briefly as we can. Now, I already mentioned that if today's event, if price on AUD is bullish, like if today's candle eventually end bullish, let's clear the chart so they can see it. If today's candle eventually end bullish, okay, it means that the price could still as much as climb to this level, the level of resistance that has been witnessed in the time past or in recent past. And the last time we witnessed this kind of resistance was around September. But if we go to H4, there is something I normally like to do on AUD. If you go to H4, you will see that this price has been kind of like, it shifted from low to kind of high. Let's do this one. Okay. Let's do this one. I think this one is good enough. Now, if you look at this single line that I drawn on the chart, it's a kind of like trend line. Let's shift it to the upper side. Okay, so based on what we have here, this price is currently at the resistance also. Based on what we have right now, we can rightly say that this price is at a resistance. Why? Because the arm of this trend line is, of course, getting hooked right now. Okay, so, but of course, remember we still have the higher ones to look for. Okay, so there's a resistance right here, right now. Okay, and of course, there could still be a potential resistance up there. Okay, so it means that if this price is going to go bullish based on that rate statement that is coming up today, or sorry, tomorrow morning, then we might be looking at AUD, sorry, Control Z. Sorry, let me just delete this one. I meant to do something different, make something like this. Yeah. So if AUD is going to go according to the rate statement that is coming, that means if the price is going to go bullish based on that rate statement that's coming up, then if this level is broken, we might be looking at this level. Now, remember that this level would also have, I think we already mentioned it, something like this, okay, already. So if this level is broken, like right here, if we break this level, like right here, then we might be looking at this level up there. So it means that the price can get there before it begins to retrace. But this is what we have. Now, remember that we can also plot another trend line, which is already broken anyway. This one is broken already. Okay, because we can also look at it this way. That's the down part, okay? That's the downtrend part. So as it is now, if this price fail to move up from here, it will just break down and begin to trade lower. And of course, the low it can get to will be as much as this level, right? This level. It will get to this level in the future. So it's either it gets now as this, it's either it moves to the upper part or it moves to this lower part, but we'll still have potential in between, right? Have this potential in. So the price can just play around this zone. Let me just mark this one straight so that we know that the price could just play around this level as it is on the chart. So we have potential to go up, we have potential to go down on DUD. No clear direction yet, as that's technically speaking now. But fundamentally speaking, we know that the rate segment is coming up and it is likely to be positive. So if you are judging with the fundamental, the price could go bullish. But if you're not judging with that, if you're looking at technical, the price would actually begin to look like something that will go bearish, considering the fact that we are now at the resistance. So that's the way I see AUD on 4 hours chart. Even the same thing with daily chart, and of course the same thing with 1 hour. So you might want to look at any of these time frames and trade AUD objectively. And of course, if we are now, as it is now, if we have kind of like a bearish engulfing bar around this level, around this trend line, you might be looking to sell on 1 hour. Okay, because that's the way it is. So if you want me to look at anything, don't forget you can just drop it. Of course, we'll look at it now. Somebody's asking, that's the person of EKEK, said, how do we duplicate trend line? That's the simplest thing you can do on your chart. And considering the fact that there's a class we normally do, we call it intermediate class. And of course, it's also part of the advanced classes where we look at all the, everything that surrounds MT4, MT5 is the same process, okay? MT4, MT5. So you can just, duplicate your chart, line, simply by pressing your control key and then you click on the line and then you drag it. But let me take it again. Let me take it again so that you understand it, okay? How to duplicate your trend line on the chart. Now, for all of us, or for some of us that don't know how to do it, please pay attention. Let me go to another chart and look at it. Let's go to US30, and then we can look at it here. So let us say I have a trend line, whether a trend line or a horizontal line, all of them will do. Okay, they are the same, right? If I want to plot this trend line now, I might want to look at this level. You're also done. Now, let me double click again. If you watch carefully what I have here, this is the way I draw the line. I just click and drag. Okay. Now, if I double click this line, double click, you can double click anywhere on the line. To duplicate, there are 3 lines, there are three dots you can see now on this. As I double click now, This line gave me 3 dots. Okay, like 3 dots along the line. This is 1 dot right here that I'm using my mouse to touch. This is another dot somewhere here. This is another dot somewhere there. But let me drag it to a place where you can see it. Wait, let me put it on D1. And then zoom, zoom, zoom. So let me drag it down here. Okay. So you see these 3 dots, 1, 2, 3. Let me put an arrow on it so that everybody can see it. There's a dot here. Okay. There's another dot here. Okay. And then there's another dot somewhere there, right? Those are the 3 dots we have. But let me quickly delete all these arrows. We don't need it. We don't need all these arrows. Now, if you want to delete anything on the chart or any object on the chart, you first of all double click the object, then there will be a dot around it. Okay, that means you can modify that dot signifies that you can modify it. You can just right click and delete, or you press delete on your keyboard. Anyone will do. Okay, right click and of course delete. Now, if you want to delete this trend line, the same thing. As long as that's a dot, you can right click and then you can delete. But if you don't want to delete, and of course, even if you delete, you can just recall it by pressing Ctrl Z. It will come back. Ctrl Z is like repeat or recall. The trend line you delete will come back. Now let's talk about duplicate, because you asked the question. Your question was, how do you duplicate? Now, as long as you have a dot for modification, okay, as long as you have these 3 dots on the trend line, to duplicate it, now you don't need to just first of all remove your hands from the chart. Then the next thing you want to press to duplicate is Control key. You press your Control key and then you hold it on your laptop. Press and hold. Don't remove it all. Then you use the other hand, okay, and then click anywhere on the trend line and move. You click and hold and drag. So for example, now I click on the center dot and then hold, and then I move it. So Control key will allow you to duplicate. You can move it anywhere you want. All right. Now, that is it. Now, if you double click again and you have those 3 dots, the left dot allows you to extend this to the left side. The right dot allows you to extend it to the right side. But the center dot allows you to move it wherever you want to move it to. The job of the center dot is to freely move the trend line to wherever you want to move it to without pressing Control key now. The only way you want to duplicate is when you need Control key. Control key, you hold it, press and hold, and then you duplicate, okay? And of course, you can double click again for dots or for modification. And then you can do whatever you want. Now to delete, just press delete on your keyboard, double click, and then of course you delete. Now, if you don't double click, if there's no dot on the trend line, you cannot delete. Don't forget that. But of course, if there's a dot allow modification. Of course, you can just delete. Okay. So I think the question from Ike is well answered, right? And of course, every other person have learned something. Ike said I'm a good teacher. Of course, I'm a great teacher. That's what I do. Thank you very much for the love. All right. So Euro AUD. Let's go to Euro AUD. Somebody say I should look at Euro AUD. Okay, so I'm going to go straight to charts and then I'll go to Euro and see if I can get AUD beside it. Euro AUD somewhere here. Now, this Euro AUD, as far as this money is concerned, it looks like something that will go up. Look like that. Why do I say that? Because the price has been going down for a while, and then we have what we call PSA line, okay, at the bottom of the chart, okay. If I look at what we have here with an arrow, PSA line, this is what we call PSA line, right? It's a candle that gap down and close above the previous candle. Of course, it's also actually bullish engulfing, so it's a lot of things in one. This candle is a lot of things in one. So this one naturally allows me to kind of like initiate an order. Thank you for pointing this one to me and execute a buy. Now I'm executing a buy because of what I have here, more like head and shoulder to the bottom side, head and shoulder down. Because if I analyze, I say this particular candle that I put arrow on is the PSA line. This place will also be like a neck. Like somebody that is like now, it's somebody that if we say this one is the head, this arrow here, the one at the bottom is the head. Then the one on the right side is the neck. Okay. Okay, the neck to the right side. and the neck to the left side. Okay. So all these ones are the neck. Okay, so this is what we call head and shoulder. But of course, head and shoulder that points to the downside. So this is what we call head and shoulder bottom. So there are about 2 or 3 patterns here that support a buy. Okay, the first one is the head and shoulder bottom. Okay, the second one is the PSN line. The third one is the bullish engulfing. Okay, now if you don't want to execute a buy yet, all right, that's on the 1 hour chart. I'm not talking of H4. I'm talking of H1. Okay, because H4 might just look different. Okay, H4 is still downtrend, all right, and of course, H4 is just breaking support. So if it is for H4, then we have just broken support, then it supports a down move. Okay, if you are looking at the H4 move, we just broke a support. This is strong support, okay, on the 4 hours. Very strong support, right? On the 4 hours. We just broke it. So we expect the price to continue to dip down. It's supposed to continue to go down. But for some of us that just want to, take a little bit of pips and move forward, we might just, do something like this and just kind of like bank on retracement. So this price has two areas or two potentials to move. You can actually move up, and of course, you can move down. The impulse for sell is actually greater on H4 than H1. Because if you look at this particular candle now, this is a very strong impulse to the downside. So this current move might just be kind of like a retracement that might not be strong enough to push the price back to the upside. So for some of us that are using H4, the price have potential to actually go down. But for some of us that are using H1, the price have potential to kind of like go to the upside a little bit. All right. So that's the way I see Euro AUD this morning. It have potential to go down, and it has potential to go up. Now, I've already executed a buy, banking on the fact that the price might just, do a little bit of retracement because the trend is down, really. Even on the D1, the trend is actually down, all right? So you might want to be looking to sell Euro AUD on the H4 and of course on the D1. It's actually, looking like a sell, but on the 1 hour chart, it's looking like what? It's looking like a buy. So that's where I see Euro AUD. Okay, so and of course remember that the 4 hours and the daily are stronger than the 1 hour, signals. Right. So let's go to the next one, which will be what now? The next one will be, I'm going to be waiting in the comment section for your suggestion as to what I should look at. The USD actually look kind of like bullish a little bit. Today is 8. On Friday, it was bullish. Of course, that's because we have kind of like a hammer, right? Hammer that actually kind of like suggested that the price could just be bullish. Think around it. So this one, right? You can see that kind of like pretend that the price could go bullish. Also, if it is by what we see here, USDJPY might just, but of course it's getting close to the upper band, might just be on its way to the upside, okay? But of course, remember that the trend is currently down on USDJPY, so you might want to be looking to sell anytime the price come back or return to the upper band, all right? If the price returns, if you're using Bollinger Band, if the price gets to the upper band, you might be looking to sell. And of course, if the price breaks the upper band, it will be a breakout because it has been long attempted that, okay? Breaking it and not retesting will mean a breakout. What do I mean by that? So let me delete this green, or let me just emphasize on it. So what you do is that you watch this upper band, okay? Today, not tomorrow, today. Watch the upper band. Just put Bollinger Band on USDJPY H1. Okay, let me teach you how to do this one. You put Bollinger Band on USDJPY H1. Then you watch, because currently on the 1 hour chart, the price has not touched the upper band. An attempt to touch the upper band since which week now? Since about 2 weeks now. An attempt to touch the upper band has always failed in the last 2 weeks. Okay. Since I think 25th November. Okay. But since 24th November, the last time he attempted to close above it was around 24th November, 24th 11. That's more than 3 weeks now. So look at it this way. Let me do Control Y to look at the number of weeks. This is 1 week, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Interesting. No, not week. Wait, days new. This 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6 days. Sorry. 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, and of course 10 days. So 10 days ago, that's about 2 weeks now. So the last 2 weeks, what we have seen or observed on Japanese yen against USD or USD against Japanese yen is that the price has failed to close above the upper band. Okay, any attempt to get to the upper band is initially and ferociously rejected. You saw that around, I think, around here, right? So let me teach you a way I normally trade Bolivia band. We have seen it, and you can already see it. All attempt to close above the upper band is ferociously rejected. Can you see it now? All attempt to cross the upper band is 100% rejected since the last 10 days of trading. Now, what you can do is this. If today, again, today, I'm talking of today now, if today the price gets back to this upper band, just watch it. If the price gets back to this upper band and it's rejected again, then you can place a sell. So watch this one. But if the price attempt to close above the upper band, so you first of all watch. If the first candle, let me zoom in so that I can show you what I want to show you here. If the price, first of all, move, let us say a candle. Let me use this to represent a candle. Let me use this one to represent a candle. Okay, so if a candle close above the upper band like so, let us say a green candle close above the upper band like so. Okay, and then another green candle, another one close above the upper band like so. That makes it 2 candles, right? Then you can place a buy. It will mean that there's a breakout on the upper band. But if and only if a candle close above it and another one close below it, and the color is red. Let me change this color to red color. Okay, like so. If the color is red, like one green close above it, the other one red close below it, then it will still mean that the price is still being rejected at that level. Okay, then you can still place a sell. So watch it. If you have 2 greens close above the upper band, you place a buy. If you have 1 green and 1 red, you can still continue to place a sell. Now, look at this example. So you can see here that this candle, let me give an example of what I mean. This is a breakout, right? This is a breakout. This candle closed below it. This candle that I put an arrow on closed below the band. This candle also closed below the band. That's a breakout, right? Even the next one also closed below the band. That's a breakout, right? So you continue to sell at that in that regard. Of course, if you have started selling, for example, from here, right, and you use one standard volume, and of course the price moved to this level, to about 60 something pips, you would have collected like $600. Now $600 in Nigerian naira should be close to 1 million. Close to 1 million naira on a standard volume. Remember, you cannot use a standard volume on 500,000 deposit. You cannot use a standard volume on 1 million deposit. I think you should need up to like $1,000 to use one standard volume, considering you are using leverage. So if you fund like 1.5 million, you should be able to use one standard volume on this kind of instrument, USDJPY, which means that today, you fund your account up to 1.5 million and you wait for this kind of signal. You could just, bank a lot of money, okay, possibly bank a lot of money, considering the fact that the price will break above it. And of course, if you break above it again, remember it is going to be twofold. If you have 2 greens, you buy. But if you have 1 green and 1 red, you can sell. All right. So that's the way I'll submit on USDJPY. Opinions differ. And of course, some people might say, oh, that's not the way I trade it, or they have their own different instruments or different ways of trading it. It's all welcome. There's no one way to this market. Every opinion is acceptable in this market. And of course, the only thing you need to do is your risk. You have to manage your risk. You have to use a proper stop loss, and of course, a proper take profit. And of course, you have to use a lot that is commensurate with your account. Don't go and use a lot that is not commensurate with your account. It's just, expose your account to what you don't want to do. So use your lot according to your account size. If your money is big, you can actually use big lots. Of course, so that you can, at a time, you can just make your money and move out of the market. Now, somebody is asking for my phone number. His name is Oyedele Keke. Is it Keke or Keke? Okay, so my phone number is 090-2039-8255. 8739. Drop me a WhatsApp now. I'll respond right now. Let me take it once again. 090-2039-8739. Okay, you drop me kind of like a WhatsApp right now, and of course I'll see. You can even call me on WhatsApp. I'll answer you. Okay. Do that. Okay. Do that. All right. So Tunji Balogun from Ibadan says, well done, sir. Let's check. I'm going to look at it. And of course, let's check Euro CHF. Can we check silver? Can we check Euro USD? Okay. Have I not looked at Euro USD? I don't think so. So let me start with Euro USD. Since it's my favorite instrument on this chart, as far as I'm concerned, my best instrument is Euro USD. Now that you have asked me to or challenged me to look at it, I'm going to start with EBA cross and look at it. So there is currently an EBA cross. You can see I have different strategies to trade. A lot of people say, how many strategies do you know? Well, I know a lot, okay, because that's what makes me a strategist, all right? I know a lot of strategies that I use to trade. Right? I train myself to use them all. Now, let's look at Euro USD. Based on what I have here on this chart, this price has potential to go down. You'll be surprised, Abi. I said it has potential to go down, but that's true because the price is currently, or the indicators here, the 21 period moving average and the 50, the arrangement, the Asparty arrangement suggests that the price will still go down. Now, my attention will shift to the upside if and only if the red cross above the black. Now, even though I will not place a sell, I won't, okay, for obvious reason. I won't because the current price is currently above the moving average, both black and red. I'll be looking to sell when the price is currently below the two moving averages. That's both the black and the red. For example, I'll be looking to sell around here, okay, when the price close at around, let me just touch this part. Can you see this part? I would have placed a sell around that zone. Why? Because the price, first of all, moved to the upside. Let me use an arrow to indicate that. Okay, we saw this price, move to the upside, move to the upside, move to the upside, even move to this level, then suddenly begins to reverse, and then it closes around this level below the red and the black. Then I will execute a sell, and of course I would have made money. Now I will do that again if it happens, right? For example, the price has currently moved and moved and moved and moved to the upside, and of course it's currently doing what? It's retracing. So if it retraces so much and it closes below this red, can you see now? Then I will execute another sell. That's what I would do, because that would tell me that the price is now ready to do what? To go down. That would indicate that the price has done a complete retracement. Otherwise, I will stay off until this red line again cross above the black and I have something close to what I'm looking for. Then I will execute a buy. Now, as far as I'm concerned, on this 1 hour chart, there is no signal for Euro USD. I'll be waiting for signal. And my favorite or my bias will be that if the price close below where I'm expecting, I will execute a sell. Right? So that is it for what now? That is it for Euro USD. All right. Now let's go to the next one on the list. Somebody say Euro CHF. I remember. So I'm going to go to here and look for Euro CHF, Euro CHF, Euro CHF, Euro CHF. I've not seen it. Maybe it should be somewhere around Euro. Well, I can't even see it. Euro CHF. Why is it running away from me? Euro CHF. Let's check here again. Euro CHF. Euro CHF. Let's check here again. Euro card. Ah. Wow. Oh, okay, I've seen it. Euro CHF. Now, based on what we have on this Euro CHF, we let's check with this one again. First of all, this one, okay, this one does not give a signal, so let's check with Bollinger Bands. There's a rejection currently, but we cannot bank on it. Let's check with D1 and see what the price is doing. Okay, so the price is doing strong. It's doing something strong on the D1. On the H4 as well, it's currently been dominantly prevailed by the bulls. But maybe they are getting tired, right? Let's check the weekly chart. There's still room to go on the weekly chart, which means that the price may still kind of like push to the upside and meet the Bollinger Band. But of course, this is a kind of like a range instrument or instrument that range. So you want to kind of like check with your H1 to see if you can actually trade a sell over. But as far as I'm concerned now, there's no signal. Okay, the same thing with Euro USD. But of course, if I change these 2 days, okay, so it's clearly on an uptrend, right? Clearly on what? An uptrend, all right? So, but you want to wait for the price to retrace to this black line. Wait for the, if you want to trade it, wait for the price to retrace to this black line, and of course, you can execute a sell. I'm going to change this color. Actually, I prefer to use this for my color, long green. Okay, so wait for the price to retrace to this level before you execute a buy. All right. Now, a lot of people have been sending me WhatsApp messages. I'm receiving your message right now. So you're welcome. I will just first of all check the first person that dropped message to see what he has to say, okay, on my WhatsApp, right? I just dropped my number and people are already sending me messages. Good afternoon. Somebody saying good afternoon. Why is good afternoon? This morning we are. Just drop me WhatsApp. I'm here, right? Okay. Okay. I've not seen your messages. I'm waiting for your messages, people. Just drop me a message. Of course, I'll look at it very fast. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to the next item on the list. Let me check what other person, what people want me to look at. What are your moving averages on that Euro USD, sir? Well, it's actually 50 period moving average and 50 period simple moving average and 21 period exponential moving average. So on the Euro CHF, what is the MA value? I just mentioned it. Same thing, 50 period and 21 period. One is simple, one is exponential. Somebody said I should look at Euro JPY. I have not checked it for a while, but of course I can look at it very fast before we close. Euro JPY. So this one is currently bullish also. But of course we can look at the Bollinger Band and check what the price is doing right now. So currently the price is currently being volatile to the upside. And of course, that's an example of what I was telling you. So there's a close above, there's another close above. So this means that what this one means is that the price is currently being on a breakout level and to the upside. That's what it means. Okay. So you might want to kind of like, trade in that direction if you like. But of course, remember, and you need to watch out for this resistance. There's a resistance somewhere here. It's kind of strong, right? Kind of strong. Okay. So if the price gets to that level, you might want to terminate your trade or even use stop loss. If you are going negative, if you are doing sell, you might be looking at your stop loss around that zone. So I'm going to go now to the next one on the list. As for what your question says, okay. Somebody say US. Okay. Everything is fine. I think I've analyzed almost all your requests except for few. So I'm going to go now to one bonus thing I can look at because that will be silver. Okay. Bonus, silver. All right. So looking at silver, the price is currently neither here nor there, but of course it's been kind of like more like in a trance or in a range. Okay. Let me show you what I mean. On a click handle, and of course, looking at what the price is doing, it's currently on a range. Okay, we have this. Okay, so the price is currently on a range. So since the price is on a range after a bullish momentum, you will want to look at the breakout to the down part. Okay, so if the price eventually break out and is going down, then you want to place a sell. Okay, that's around this level. But if the price choose to break out and is going up, okay, that would mean that the price will kind of like go bullish again. So you might want to look at the breakout as far as this silver is concerned. You can plot something like this on your 1 hour chart and wait for the price to decide where it wants to go. Let the price decide where it wants to go, and then you follow. It makes sense. It makes more sense as to you trading in that direction. Okay, so let me kind of like open the channel for one person to talk to me so that we can close, and of course we can go home. Right. So if you want to ask me a question directly, you want to just kind of like ask me the question now that I've opened the channel for you to kind of like talk to me. Okay, so just unmute yourself and talk to me. You want to talk to me, you can just raise your hand and then you unmute yourself and then you talk to me. Okay, so who is this person that raised up his hand? Let me check. Raise up your hand well. Oh yeah, unmute yourself. Ike. Unmute yourself and talk to me. Just click to unmute yourself and talk. Have you done that? Okay, go ahead and unmute.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Njo. This has been a very enlightening set. Every time I join the class and you're the one to this, you heard me say you're a great teacher. It's not just because of what you did today. It's because every time I consistently join your class, I get value. And yeah, the challenge I have is that I'm not based in Lagos. At some time, I had chatted on your WhatsApp line.
Yeah, I'm very sure that if you are based in Lagos, you would have been bombarding my office 24/7 and of course be sitting in front of me as a VIP, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm in
Abuja, and I'm in Abuja. So I really like to have a one-on-one to share my.
Are you a VIP?
Yes, I'm a VIP.
And then yes, I'm a freedom to do one-on-one now. All you need to do is to send me a request, and of course, you give me your time, and then I'll schedule a call, and then we'll be on the same page. Distance is no barrier.
Fantastic.
100%. Okay, so we can start that today. Anytime you are free today, you talk to me, and then I will connect to your laptop, and then we can discuss. Right?
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I'll be chatting you up later today.
Thank God. Yes, please chat me up.
Appreciate it. Bless you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we round up from here, and I appreciate everybody for your time and for your patience and for joining this class. Remember, fund your account between now and evening to be able to take advantage of tomorrow's class. Tomorrow's trade by 4:30 in the morning. So for trading by 4:30 in the morning means that you must wake up by say 3:30 or 4. So you must wake up, set your alarm to maximum 4 a.m. So wake up by 4 a.m., fire up your laptop. Okay, if you don't have a laptop, use your phone. Okay, charge your phone to be full to capacity. And then, of course, we will fund the account today. Okay, so and then you wait for that 4:30 on the dot, and then you trade, or a little before it or a little after it. Depends on the strategy you adopt. I already discussed that already. So don't miss that chance of making money tomorrow, Tuesday. So I want to see a lot of people make money tomorrow so that testimony will come in. You already have my number. So as you make the money, you send me screenshot testimony. I love it. I love, screenshot. I love, don't let my teeth come out. I love it when people send me screenshot of testimony. That's what I want to see. Okay. Oh, I traded that 4:30 event and of course I made money. That's what I want to see. Really, I'm serious. So I'm wishing you all a very beautiful day ahead, a very beautiful week ahead. Tomorrow, same time, don't forget, 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll be here. Somebody else will be on the hot seat to actually dish out what we feel will happen in the market objectively. And of course, even though it doesn't constitute a financial advice, it actually teaches us how to trade, and trade profitably in the market. Also, if you still don't know how to trade, don't forget, you can come to class and learn, or you can adopt the option of copy trading. I wish you all the best, and of course, bye-bye from here.